Thank you once again, distinguished colleagues. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to lead this very important debate on a bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission 2019 and for other related matters. Mr. President, let me quickly mention that in the other paper, there was an error there, and I think the Senate leader has actually taken care of that, because I saw some, either we call it typographical error, which I don't know how it happened, but I'm sure it is being removed. In this bill, there's nothing like education backwardness and this security that was there. So with that, let me go straight to the lead debate, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is a great honor and privilege to, on behalf of all the 17 other senators from the Southwest geopolitical zone of the country, lead the debate for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this bill was first read on the floor of the Senate on 14th November 2019. In leading this debate, I would like to crave your indulgence, Mr. President, and that of my distinguished colleagues, to stress that the issues that necessitated the enactment of this bill are prevalent in all the other geopolitical zones in the country. What this literally means is that all the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria have more or less similar issues. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, in the pre-independence period up into the early post-independence era, Nigeria was made up of 3 regions: the northern, eastern, and western regions. Midwestern regions was later carved out of the western region. In the western region, the founding fathers had a development ideology which focused on the empowerment of the people. A policy mix in such core areas as health, education, agriculture, employment, infrastructural development, and a functional and efficient public service defined the agenda for the region. The free primary education scheme and the universal health program were 2 elements of their governance agenda, which were meant to produce a vibrant human capital as a basis for sustainable growth of the region. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the result of that policy mix was that the transformation of the Southwest into an infrastructural paradise has experienced up to the most remote of locations across the region. Years after, especially since the return of Nigeria to democracy, which has now gone unbroken for 20 years plus, nothing bears similitude in virtually all the 6 states of the Southwest to the progressive development and assured march to self-sufficiency of the old western region. There's a gloomy picture of a region that is alarmingly in dire lack of on almost all fronts, a region that once provided leadership for other regions and indeed the entire country. Today, with an ever-increasing population due to rural-urban migration, facilities in the Southwest region, especially social amenities, are increasingly stretched, just as living standards continue to plummet. Majority of roads are calling for urgent attention. Many state-owned hospitals have inadequate medical personnel and equipment that can properly manage the health needs of patients. Educational institutions are not what they used to be. Industrial estates have become desolate, while a few, which are still functional, are struggling to remain in business. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the massive growth and activity of the agricultural sector, evidenced with endless rubber and cocoa plantations, have since given way, while growth of local industries has been stalled. Also, no effective bureaucracy exists, and with the least premium placed on capital development, human resources development has ceased being a culture. Added to these are policy inconsistencies and profligacy in governance and leadership styles, everything seems at the lowest ebb. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Southwest region has immense prospects and potentials, which are capable of making it rival any of the flourishing Arabian enclaves making waves globally today. Mr. President, aside from hosting Nigeria's busiest airport, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and the busiest highway, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, 60% of Nigeria's industrial capacity, banking assets, and even insurance assets are situated in the region. These are in addition to holding two of Nigeria's most important deep-sea ports, the Apapa Port Complex and Tinkan Island, thus having access to both land and sea borders. Consequently, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the push for the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission is an attempt to address the dwindling fortunes of the Southwest region by implementing a regional development plan, taking into consideration the region's unique endowments, natural advantages, and capabilities. This is one of the major reasons we are proposing the establishment of this commission. This commission, if passed into law, will enhance regional integration, which is capable of delivering the benefits of large economies of scale. It is my firm belief that this bill will act as a catalyst to develop the geopolitical zone by providing legislative backing to address some of these challenges in the Southwest, just as it has been done for other geopolitical zones in these hallowed chambers. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this bill seeks to resolve issues of underdevelopment by redirecting federal attention to the development challenges of the Southwest region, which comprises Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo states. Issues which include but are not limited to agriculture, transportation, health, infrastructural decay, education, environment, housing, infrastructural, industrialization, water supply, electricity, commerce, etc., which when addressed will have a multiplier effect of great proportion not only for the Southwest region but Nigeria as a whole. The bill seeks to establish a commission that will mobilize the collective strength, assets, and capabilities within the states of Southwest Nigeria towards achieving sustainable socio-economic growth and development that will result in high standard of living and improve well-being for the people of the region, to make it the preferred place of choice for people to live, to work, to visit, and to invest in. The main thrust being the attainment of an egalitarian, democratic, and economically self-sustaining region that unlocks the energies and resourcefulness of our people for greater good and prosperity, while assuring their liberty and freedom. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the function of the Southwest Development Commission include: 1. Conception, planning, and implementation in accordance with set rules and regulations of projects and programs for sustainable development of the Southwest region in the areas of transportation, roads, waterways, health, employment, industrialization, agriculture, housing and urban renewal, as well as in education, to mention a few. 2, to facilitate the rapid and sustainable development of the Southwest into a region that is economically prosperous, socially stable, ecologically regenerative, and politically peaceful region. To provide a master plan for reduction of unemployment while also providing schemes to promote physical development of the Southwest. To implement all the measures approved for the development of the Southwest by the federal government and member states of the Commission. 5, to identify factors inhibiting the development of Southwest and assist the member states in the formulation and implementation of policies to ensure sound and efficient management of resources of the Southwest. To cause the Southwest area to be surveyed in order to ascertain measures which are necessary to promote its physical and social economic development. 7, to assess and report any project being funded or carried out in Southwest area for the purpose of development. 8, to tackle the ecological and environmental problems that arise from soil erosion problems and related environmental challenges in the Southwest, and advise the federal government and the member states on the prevention and control of erosion and environmental challenges. And finally, to carry out such functions as the President may from time to time direct. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is the collective agreement and aspiration of all the distinguished senators from the Southwest geopolitical zone and other distinguished senators from other zones to support the passage of this historic and all-important bill. By passing this bill, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this Senate will have demonstrated real courage and audacity when it was most needed to turn around the dueling fortunes of the Southwest zone and consequently etch their names in the annals of history as standing up to save the Southwest and indeed Nigeria from economic oblivion. Finally, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, let me thank you most sincerely in advance for supporting this bill. I urge you for the good of the people of the Southwest and our country to lend your voices in support of this bill. May history be kind to us all for the actions we take today for the present generations and those yet to come. Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, in line with Order 77.3 of our standing rules, the financial compendium is hereby attached. Thank you for your kind attention and support for the passage of this bill.